Hey, Crystal Maiden here, and here I'm showing off more extra parts. So, Sonic Advance, it actually got plenty of re-releases outside of America. The game was included with Sonic Battle as part of a series of compilation GBA games in Europe and Japan. Each of these compilation cartridges had a new menu screen, letting you select a game. Because of this 2 games in 1 series, Sonic Advance was re-released with Sonic Battle and Choo Choo Rocket. It was also ported to Nokia's N-Gage system as Sonic N, with disastrous results. It had a really small screen, introducing even worse screen crunch due to a much narrower view. You thought the Game Gear games was bad. Several sound effects in it were made lower pitch or softened. The N-Gage port also removed the tiny Chow Garden in multiplayer because of a lack of the ability to take advantage of it. It ignored the N-Gage's connectivity capabilities, had a poor frame rate, and irritating display modes. So all around it was just a porting disaster. Advance 1 was re-released as a tweaked version for Japanese Android devices as a free download, which had an improved resolution by 3 times, lost the Chow Garden, and the invincibility and classic boss themes were removed due to licensing issues with Masato Nakamura. The game required an updated version of Android to avoid bugs and lagging. Not sure why, it's a GBA game. It came out November 2011. Advance 1 also has a lame mobile phone version with only 4 zones: Neo Green Hill, Secret Base, Angel Island, and Casino Paradise. It was developed by Gameloft and ported to Java-based mobiles 2011. Finally, Advance 1 was ported to Japan's Wii U Virtual Console on February 2015 for $7. It even had its own trailer. Advance 2 was only re-released when it was the Japanese Wii U Virtual Console a year later. Why only Japan? Again, America is Sonic's biggest market, isn't it? Something I also haven't talked about is Sonic Adventure. There's plenty of trivia that I have for that game as well. Like, Speed Highway was actually the first level to be shown to the public. There's actually a 50-second mark of Speed Highway's theme, which is static, with someone saying, "Who gives a shit?" in the middle of it. There's also stuff about the auto demo I haven't talked about yet. Like, in that prototype of the game, all the Chow will stay completely still until you approach them, upon which they'll run up to you. Unless you attack them, in which case they'll run away. They're much more simple-minded in AI. They're all unevolved, implying that they haven't made the evolutions yet. And the weird thing is Chow will slide really far from being thrown. And they'll run on water, implying that the water hadn't been programmed yet. This is Rouge's Freerider's outfit, which somehow manages to be even more skimpy. Like, every time that parents complain about how Rouge usually looks and they give her a different outfit, it looks even racier than the original. I kind of like the way it looks, though. Rouge was kind of a bitch in Freeriders. Like, she didn't have Omega with her, which makes sense because why would Omega care about some dumb racing tournament? And they replaced her with some generic robot who turned out to be Metal Sonic in disguise. And when that robot broke down, she didn't care about him at all. And I don't think that's very in character for her. Like, she's a jewel thief, sure, but she's supposed to at least have compassion for her teammates. So there's some more stuff about the prototype I haven't talked about yet. Like there's the fact that Tails and Amy in the auto demo have no animations for jumping at all while holding stuff. And Knuckles' gliding sound continues for a short while after landing. Classic sound effects will actually play for getting an air bubble, getting hit, and dying. Now, getting an air bubble I can understand because a lot of Sonic games do that, but getting hit and dying, that really just goes to show you that Sonic Adventure was definitely coming straight out of the classic era. It wasn't about nostalgia, it was about just coming out of the era. Enemies make less noise in the auto demo, and you can't throw Kiki's bombs at him. So apparently, not only is Coconuts called Kiki for some reason, but you can actually interact with the bombs. That's weird. Ramps usually fail to launch you to the correct point in the auto demo, and Sonic moves slower up the stairs near the Silver Bell in Speed Highway Act 3. I really like Shard the Metal Sonic. I like how, I don't know if this is all of the character mods doing this, but I really do like how he has the human-like idle animations, because even though he's a robot, he is very much human-like in personality. He was basically a Metal Sonic from the Archie comics that turned good, because Sonic basically showed him that there was more to life than being powerful. So I like him. He's nice. He's like if Metal Sonic was good. That's an interesting way to take his character. Like, he was based on Sonic, so he acts like Sonic. Like, all he wanted to do was race him at first. This mission is basically all about, like, doing tricks off the rainbow rings. It's pretty simple. Most versions of Sonic Adventure 2 have a hidden menu in it. There's no way to find it normally. In fact, it's not even in the same file as the other menus. Like people load it in the Dreamcast version by swapping the files. They swap the files advertise and title. Starting the game gives you a very different title screen with Japanese text above the English phrase "press start" button, and the SA2 logo over a gray and white image. This is the debug menu. Before even pressing start, you'll see that the demo cycle is different. The order of demos shown off for the title movie is Sonic, Eggman's Iron Gate, Rouge, Tails, Knuckles at Pumpkin Hill, and Shadow. Eggman, Knuckles, and Shadow's demos use different stages as well. After pressing start, use the D-pad to navigate through different game types, which have strange names like 1 Point Match. You can also change the mission number and toggle upgrades with X and Y, so that's convenient. There's 9 options: 1 player only, 2 player 3 point match, 2 player 1 point match, test event, 1 player demo, 2 player demo, demo look previous taken one, play from hero, play from dark, and play from last. These options mainly involve individual testing, like testing demo recording and story mode. The options ask you to choose a character and stage mostly. Like, Tails and Eggman are actually listed twice due to them having mech freeforms, but it usually doesn't matter which one is chosen. The only difference is Route 101, which will only recognize the T-Walker. The Tails Walker doesn't really sound better of a name than the Cyclone, to be honest. I know it's based off the Egg Walker, but still. Like, Cyclone just makes more sense because Tails always tends to have wind-themed names with his, like, inventions. After choosing a character, you can pick any stage, boss, or minigame. You'll return to the debug title after clearing the stage, quitting via menu, or getting a game over. Same goes for a 2-player, except you choose 2 of any character, like Sonic vs. Knuckles, which was not actually possible in the final game. Stages not designed for multiplayer crash after a match. Event tests list all of the cutscenes, of course, and they're actually color-coded. Gray events are mostly timestamp only events for in-stage cutscenes, like the cutscenes before Knuckles stages. The colors are entirely accurate, as some scenes, like the ones for the intro local, are marked as incomplete. The interesting thing is that cutscenes played through the debug menu can be manipulated using various controls. Pressing B pauses it, and you can use L and R to adjust the speed. You can even make cutscenes play in reverse. Wish you could do that in other games. Lighting effects and voices don't really work right when you do that though, making it look and sound even weirder. This card actually controls pretty well, by the way. Like, you can jump and move left and right with it, and you can even drift, which is pretty cool. You can also reset the cutscene using X and then Y. The cutscene you pick loops endlessly, and you only return to the event list by skipping it with start. Pressing A, B, X, Y, start returns you to the title, which can be useful for escaping unskippable cutscenes like the ending. The demo options for SA2 are very similar to the regular individual stage mode, except this time the game's recording what you're doing for a demo. you can't pause while recording your movements for some reason. Pressing start returns you to the title. You can use the look previous option to see your recorded demo. Unfortunately, the game doesn't store the stage you recorded the demo in for some reason. So you'll end up in slot 0, basic test. You need to force the stage with cheats. If the stage is programmed with special cameras for demos, it'll actually use those in the custom demo you made. In City Escape and stages like that, the character themes will play, like Sonic's theme for City Escape. Like, play from start starts the hero, dark, or last story mode from the start without ever saving. I really hate this mission. For one, it's a mangling of Rouge's character because she never flirted once in SA2. I mean, she did wink at you if you looked at her in Heroes, but that was it. For another, the mission itself is just annoying. You basically have to press Y facing the enemy and hope that the stream of hearts hits the robots. I guess that really speaks to how human-like the Eggpawns are, that they can actually be wooed by Rouge. But seriously, like, why would Eggman program his robots with a libido? That doesn't benefit him at all. I guess it's something that he didn't intentionally program into them. But just look at this, I'm having such trouble just with this one robot. It's not a matter of you press Y near robot and it guarantees that the robot will be stunned. And they make such an irritating bong sound when you homing attack into their shields. Like, really? Why can't it just be like Blaze's fire mission where you press Y near fire and it just is guaranteed to work? I really like how the mission takes place at night though. Like, I always like it when missions take place at a different time of day. But you have to kill enemies to progress, just like in Sonic Heroes. Although that was only really a huge thing in like a few specific situations and Team Dark, but still. I really like playing Toxic Cave's remixes. Like, it fits so perfectly, because it's so surreal how Rouge is basically just making the robots in love with her. So it fits really well. I really like Toxic Cave's remix. In the 2D sections, you have to be right in front of the enemy in order to stun them, which can be really annoying when you have to deal with these rising and falling pillars that will get in your way. It's a good thing that this mission has checkpoints, because I died once here, and I would have been really annoyed having to start the whole thing over again. And at the very end of this mission, well, while I do like that it takes place at night most of the time, the problem is that eventually it gets to a point where you can't tell the sand from the water. So I was hesitant to land on the sand because I didn't know that it was safe to land on. And I also couldn't see that the crates, that they were just outlines that would only become crates for me to get to the goal ring on after I defeated all the enemies, because it was so dark. So yeah, it's not a very well designed mission, so it's a good thing that's completely optional. But anyways, back to the Sonic Adventure 2 demo. Sonic Adventure 2 demo actually has two other versions of the debug mode. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle has a later version of the debug menu, which was upgraded, but with the same options. However, the toggles for missions and upgrades don't appear until a game's type is chosen. And what's worse, the stage list is now restricted for each character, so that kind of takes the fun out of it. The event list was also reorganized. Timestamp only events were delisted, likely because they were so short and could only be exited by resetting the game. At least the upgrade toggle was added to this menu so that you don't need to leave the menu to turn upgrades on or off. The color coding was also changed to indicate normal events, big events like the Gerald and Supersonic scenes, and pre-rendered scenes. A timestamp can also be found here. It's marked 5:14 p.m. on 7 November 2000. The year is probably a typo, considering 7 November 2000 would make it predate Sonic Adventure 2 The Trial. In Canon's core, the music that plays for Sonic and Tails' segments clearly matches their respective genres of music. However, the same can't be said for Eggman, Knuckles, and Rouge. There are two absent tracks for the stage. The music that plays during the Knuckles and Rouge segments seemed to have been originally composed for Eggman, implying that only he was going to be in those sections of the level. Or the decision to make distinct Knuckles and Rouge segments came later,